Thank you, Madam Speaker. I first want to thank Ranking Member for his insistence that both parties work together to develop and fund infrastructure priorities in America. This is the way it ought to work. This issue's never been partisan in the past. Mr. Graves has made the point he'll come to the table and work together. He's exactly right, and I support his efforts. I rise today to support Representative LaMalfa's amendment to strike certain credit risk premium provisions in the underlying bill. The amendment protects federal taxpayers all across America, make sure they're not stuck holding the bag when a specific railroad defaults on its loans. The author of the original provision readily admits that this is an earmark for Texas Central Railroad in Texas. This is a private company that had claimed for years that they would fund this privately and it would be a state railroad, but they have reneged on that. They are now considering one of these loans to build a high-speed rail between Houston and Dallas. But Texas Central's train is so risky and their financial situation so poor, they say they can't even pay the risk premium up front. And for this reason, they've requested legislators change the federal law in order to help the company qualify for a loan they would never receive under standard rules. This is a huge red flag if I've ever seen one. That's why I feel it's important for legislators of both parties to support Representative Malfa's amendment to ensure that we don't lose important taxpayer protections for these RRIF loans and allow for a prolonged CRP payment schedule. Here's the situation. Texas Central Railroad is privately funded and a state railroad, and has always promised to Texas that this project, quote, does not need, does not want, will not ask for government grants for construction or public money to subsidize this. Yet it's now clear that promise, which was used to gain support from citizens and communities across Texas, was misleading. In April, Texas Central announced they would renege on their original promise. They would now seek federal stimulus money. And there's a reason they're doing that. The project's costs have tripled from its original estimates to $30 billion. These ballooning projections are especially concerning considering the project also faces other significant hurdles. Lack of financial feasibility. They have no power for eminent domain, thank goodness, although they're coming to Washington for the power to seize people's tax lands without their consent. There are potential safety and flooding issues and near uniform opposition from local and state officials along the rural route of this. Texas Central is now asking House Democrats in the House to include a change in the Green New Deal legislation to make it easier to renege on these loans. We should not condone this.
Time has expired.
We are in a COVID crisis. Those dollars should be used for health care, not a boondoggle. Thank you, Madam Speaker.